This episode is brought to you by La Quinta by Wyndham. Your work can take you all over the place, like Texas. You've never been, but it's going to be great because you're staying at La Quinta by Wyndham. Their free Bright Side breakfast will give you energy for the day ahead. And after, you can unwind using their free high-speed Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book your stay today at lq.com.
Today on CityCast Madison. It's Thursday, so of course we're dishing on the Madison food scene. The Dane County Farmers Market returns to the Capitol Square this Saturday, and the weather forecast looks nearly perfect. Today, market manager Jamie Bugel joins Bianca Martin to tell us what's new at the market this season and some tips for making the most of the largest producers-only farmers market in the country. It's Thursday, April 11th. I'm Dylan Brogan, and here's what Madison's talking about.
Jamie, hello.
Hi.
So nothing says spring in Madison like the opening of the Dane County Farmers Market.
That's what I think.
Right? Like, is it even here? I don't think so. So it's happening. What can folks find at the market this weekend?
So our opening day is April 13th, and we will be there at 6:15 a.m. with all of your normal spring goodness. You know, we've had farmers who've been growing greens in their hoop houses and greenhouses all winter long, but now that the sun is out more, those things are just taking off. So you'll find those, and a little bit of the warmer weather is leading to more beautiful spring flowers and pussy willows and just everything to brighten up your home.
Yes, flowers are already coming out. So I wanted to ask about the weather and how the weather has changed what's available this year, because we've had a pretty warm winter.
Yeah, it's so specific for every single product, and honestly, for different producers throughout the state. So every producer at the Dane County Farmers Market is based in Wisconsin. But with that, they're from southern Wisconsin or from the Madison area or from northern Wisconsin. And some producers, are having kind of a tough maple sugaring season, whereas others up north are actually doing okay. So it's changed, the amount of items available, or maybe even the taste a little bit, but it is so region specific that I think the best thing to do is always ask the person behind the booth of something you're buying, like, hey, did you have a tough spring, or how did this impact the product this year? That's definitely the best way to learn.
Interesting. I'm curious about how it might impact the taste. Like, can you speak on that a little bit?
So a really good example is like sweetened spinach and carrots. So one of our producers at the late winter market has spinach and carrots all winter long. And when it doesn't get below freezing, those plants don't store those sugars as much. So actually, like, the spinach and carrots might not be as sweet as they were a couple months ago when it was really getting down into the single digits.
Yeah, so add some variety to the cooking experience. Hey, why not?
Definitely.
So talk about the vendors this year. Are there any new ones that stand out?
Yeah, we have over 220 vendors, which leads to an amazing variety. And just something that I think is really interesting about our market is that we don't curate the vendors. So if you join our wait list, which is only a couple years long, so if you think you ever want to join the market, go ahead, join our wait list. But we invite every single person off that wait list eventually, as long as you have a product that's allowable under our rules. So this year we have a wide variety of vendors everywhere, from more vegetable vendors to fish vendors, which we haven't had in a while, actually. And
fish.
Yeah. Wisconsin farmed, aquaponic operations, things like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that at the market.
No, it's been a few years, definitely. So yeah, I think the people who sign up for the market just add an amazing diversity of products, and I'm excited to see what older vendors bring this year and what the newer vendors bring as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to picture the process here. You said that the wait list, everyone gets a chance eventually after a couple of years. So I kind of think it just like there's probably the standard folks that people would expect to be there. Has there been turnover or, what's the larger picture for variety of vendors and who's new and who's old, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So a lot really depends on how many of our 220 vendors are coming regularly to the market. So we can fit about 150 vendors around the square. And so we want to make sure that all the vendors who we have at the market we never turn anyone away. So if they show up to a market, they're allowed to vend. We don't ask for people to tell us ahead of time if they're coming to the market. So that's another aspect is you always want to go visit the market on a Saturday because you don't know who's going to be there. There's obviously the regulars, but there is also surprises sometimes. So basically, we try to aim for being able to make sure that every single person who is a vendor of the market can be at a Saturday market. Then it's not a super strict process. It's more like a feeling where like, okay, these people are winding down or this vendor is going more wholesale, so they're not at the market as much. So we can invite 2 more people off the wait list because we know we have more room every Saturday. So that's basically in the fall around September, after we've been through kind of the height of the season, we assess how things have been going at the Saturday market and say, hey, we could totally fit 10 more vendors this year. Let's invite people off the wait list. And then they join that next April.
I've been going to the farmers market since, back in my college days at UW. And it is just such a beautiful memory and exciting time to visit. For folks who are newer to Madison, what's special about this farmers market in particular?
Yeah. So the thing that makes the Dane County Farmers Market stand out is that it's a producer-only market. So that means a few different things. First, it means at least one person behind the stand is an owner of the business and actively participates in the production of the product you're buying. So they are the expert on that product, which is not guaranteed at all farmers markets. The other thing that means is there is no resale. So in many large markets throughout the country, you have a wonderful variety of things. Like I would love to be able to get, mangoes and pineapples at the market as well, but you can't really grow that in Wisconsin. And because of that no resale rule, you are getting all Wisconsin products. It's produced in Wisconsin and it's so fresh and it hasn't traveled more than however many miles just to stay in the state, which is also great.
Yeah, there is something really special about having that vendor that it's like it's their business. It's exciting. It's this whole showcase of different stories too. I have the pleasure of owning the Dane County Farmers Market cookbook
Awesome.
that came out that, we ended up talking to the author of that on the show. And it really is like a smorgasbord of community members that, I don't know, it lights up the square.
Absolutely. Yeah, the cookbook's such a great physical example of like what makes the market so special. You can like take home and read, and we'll have that for sale at the Saturday and Wednesday market this year. So if you haven't gotten your copy yet, yeah, you can page through it or pick up your own.
This episode is brought to you by ShipStation. If you run an e-commerce business, you know how much work it takes to produce something great while dealing with complicated shipping issues. That's why over 130,000 companies have turned to ShipStation, an innovative tool that allows you to focus less on shipping and more on building your brand. With ShipStation, you can manage orders, label printing, reporting, and customer service on one easy-to-use dashboard. You'll reduce warehouse costs with reliable enterprise solutions and save thousands on shipping costs with discounts up to 89% off. Plus, you can effortlessly import orders from everywhere you sell online. So, turn your shipping challenges into opportunities for growth. Go to ShipStation.com and use code POD to sign up for your free 60-day trial. That's ShipStation.com, code POD.
I gotta ask, did you have any idea that Top Chef was gonna be filming at the market last year? That was bonkers.
Yeah, it's so exciting. All we knew is that a culinary television show was going to be filming at the farmers market until a couple weeks out. And we were like, okay, it's probably Top Chef. We're getting all these bits and pieces from different, news outlets around Madison. But no, we're really excited for the episode, which I think will be in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. There's already a lot of excitement and energy on that Capitol. So the idea of some people running around and trying to quickly gather goods, I'm looking forward to seeing the episode because I'm like, how did you do it?
Yeah, I'm going to be so impressed, I think, with the chef contestants because it's taken me years to be able to navigate the square, and I'm there every single Saturday. And I think that's one of the pieces of advice that I would give to newcomers is like when you come to the market, one, try to come before 9 a.m. I know that's not always possible, but try to come before 9 a.m., do a lap and take photos, so you can look back and be like, oh, right, this thing looked good. Or they had asparagus this week. Maybe it's not too late to get it next week. And that kind of helps you ground yourself in what is actually available on the square seasonally. I know I look back at the photos I take every week as well, so we can write our newsletters and tell people, what's available this week. But so again, I'm very impressed with chefs just being dropped in the middle and being able to find ingredients.
It's an excellent challenge opportunity. And that's really a good idea, taking photos, because it can, for some folks, feel overwhelming. Like, what's going on here? Because it's that you kind of describe the process and how many people are there. So that's a great tip. And it sounds like you have a newsletter.
Yeah, we basically just share kind of just some recipe ideas in the newsletter and any updates for, there's always so much other activities going on around the square as well. So that's where we try to update about, road closures or other events. That's actually something that is going to be new this year is the road between State Street and the Capitol will be closed. So that will be a pedestrian area. So cars will no longer be able to drive all the way around the square. Instead, that area will be for pedestrians, which will make things safe, and it will continue to add to that nice cohesive nature between our market, the agricultural side, and the city side of the market who organizes all the craft vendors.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to change up some things so that there'll be no cars or buses from Wisconsin to West Wash. Is that accurate?
You've got it. That's correct.
Okay. That'll be exciting. So I think that will probably make people think, well, where should I park? Do you have any tips around parking?
Oh, yeah. I definitely recommend any of the city garages. They're all just one block, if not less, off of the square. And yeah, I think Madison is set up in such a wonderful way around the square that you can start on any single corner of the square and go your 1 mile around, which I'm not sure if you knew, but if you walk on the city side of the square, it's exactly 1 mile. So you can...
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, you can do exactly 1 mile from your parking spot around the market back to your car.
And so is there any rhyme or reason in terms of where you start and what kind of produce you might run around or come across?
No, that's, again, what's so great about literally being on a square is everything's pretty equal. There's some, there's a little hill some places, but not others. But because of the way that we let vendors choose their spots, they're sometimes vendors aren't always in the exact same spot around the square, but they'll always be on the same quadrant of the square. But people tend to spread themselves out so that the same products aren't always next to each other. So you get a great diversity of different products. You've got like a bakery, cheesemaker, produce, all next to each other on every single side of the square.
Okay. I'm excited to get this little key because I'm it's starting to make sense of my experience when I'm there. You talked a little bit about it, but what kind of items will people be seeing in terms of produce?
Right off the bat, you will definitely see, those greens, but mushrooms will be a really great addition to any spring feast. Eggs, meat, so, pork, beef, chicken, and then all the baked goods, from of course, Stella's cheesy bread to loaves made with all local grain. You can really find whatever baked good you want at the market, which is awesome.
Yeah. That was always what drew me as a youngin'.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm coming for the cheesy bread and I'm going to eat that and I'm going to walk around and maybe grab a few vegetables. And then I would go to like Momoka and like walk around the art museum. Like It's just like a good way to spend your Saturday.
I fully agree.
Yeah. And then not everyone, but you'd regularly see beautiful people with their flowers and people are like out on the lawns, with doing little picnics and wholesome things. I'm curious, do most of the vendors take credit cards these days or is it cash is king?
Great question. Most of the vendors take credit card or Venmo in addition to cash. I still think, especially if you're buying produce that's not super expensive, something could be $150. I definitely recommend using cash instead of a credit card or Venmo. So I always recommend coming to the market with cash to start out and maybe figuring out, this is over $20. I'll buy this with a credit card. But if it's under $5, I'll buy it with cash. And as you know, sometimes lines are long and it's kind of great to just have that cash ready to go and be able to hand that over and grab your product.
And keep on moving.
Yeah.
And what about SNAP benefits?
Oh, great question. So we offer SNAP benefits at all of our markets. So all you need to do is come to our green information booth on Saturdays. That's down by State Street. And basically you give us your food share card and we take as much as you want off of it. And we give you Dane County Farmers Market specific script that then you can buy any SNAP eligible item. And definitely keep your eye out on June 1st. We'll be starting double dollars again. So if you have SNAP.
Double dollars?
Yes, it doubles your dollars. So if you have SNAP and you take $20 off your card, we automatically give you $20 in double dollars. So you have $40 to spend at the market.
Oh my God. My heart. I didn't know about this. That's really a beautiful program.
Yeah, it's available at I think up to 9 of the markets in Dane County as well. It's amazing.
That's fantastic. So June 1st. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a good date to know. Speaking about not knowing things, what's some of the biggest misconceptions that you hear that people have about the market?
Oh, I think the first thing is the direction people walk around the market is enforced. It's not enforced. It just happens. I don't know how. I don't know why. I haven't found an answer. Yes. Maybe someone can do a study on it. But I think the other thing is what I've shared about the wait list is it is honestly very easy to get into the market as long as you have an allowable product. And the wait list is not that long. A couple years is a really reasonable amount of time to get your business up and running so that you have it fully capable of being able to sell at the market every week. So again, if you are interested, go to our website and find out how to join our wait list.
So, I feel like there's been some tension in the past years around the market becoming too tourist oriented. I feel like there was some, love show and they brought their love interest to the farmers market. That's something I remember. Like, it's a place that you bring your family and friends when people are visiting. And, it is amazing to stroll around with your coffee and pastry on a Saturday morning. But then it is kind of in conflict with people who are actually going there to shop. There might be kind of gawkers or, outside window shoppers who are just kind of walking around. What do you think about that dynamic? Have you heard about that tension at all?
Oh, I think it's so interesting talking to everybody, all the vendors at the market to hear theories about who is the audience that's coming to the market. So amazingly, Downtown Madison Inc. actually counted how many people were downtown last year, and it ranged between 17,000 and 23,000 people. And so I think what I would say is it's a healthy ecosystem between regulars and tourism. the farmers know who is a tourist immediately. You know, people are like, did you grow this radish? And they're like, yes, of course I did.
I guess I did.
And like, it's amazing to have the tourism and people, like you said, going to Momoka or going to the coffee shops and just really experiencing Madison and having a wonderful time downtown. That's one of the reasons I recommend if you're going to go to do your shopping, try to go earlier in the morning because there are fewer large crowds. It also depends on what time the UW football game is. So, you know, there's other things to keep in mind, but it's still the one place you can go in town and buy like 75% of your groceries all from one place that you all know are local. And it's also a place where small farmers are able to actually make a living, which isn't true many places. And so having about 20,000 people see your business on a Saturday makes or breaks farmers. I think the market is part of the reason that we have such a strong ecosystem of small farmers in Dane County and the state.
Well, you just nailed it on why it's such a special crown jewel of Madison. And I'm so excited for this season. And I'm just so grateful, Jamie, that you came on to tell us about the opening and what folks can expect. And you dropped some serious pro tips, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you shopping.
That was Jamie Bugel, manager of the Dane County Farmers Market. That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Dylan Brogan. If you enjoyed the show, why not share this food episode with Edward Snowden? I hear he likes leeks. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Until then,